Nonetheless, what am I feeling interested in jumping into first? I really do want to experiment more with these explorers to see if there's merit to them. They are without a doubt potent, it's just the awkward nature of the broadside seeker missiles. That can be a bit of an issue, since from what I've seen, they can be easily picked off because they're not going directly at your target. Nonetheless, I think I'll play with my macro chaos a little bit, and then skills aren't a big deal because we don't know what we're up against just yet. Hopefully we have ourselves a good time, and hopefully I don't lose horribly in any of them, since I am going to be playing around with different fleets rather, mainly to get a sense of their strengths, how practical they are, as opposed to going to the tried and true type of fleets like that of Impalers, like ideally the 5 cruisers Adriani, which if the polls are any indication, I'm probably going to be playing them for next week. So I really need to figure out how to not get bored of 5 cruisers for a week. I may experiment with the bombers a little bit, but they seem to go against the playstyle of Adriani just because of the heavier armor encourages you to get in nice and close, and what works well with getting close? Torpedoes. Otherwise, we're facing off in the classic battle of Chaos versus the Imperial Navy. So really having armor piercing as well as the additional accuracy is good on both ends. I can do the damage in close when it gets to be a slugfest, while having better accuracy than them at range. I like the combination, but is there anything I can do better? Emission dissipator is almost a must. Almost. It is nice and convenient, but a lot of times I'm just going to get revealed regardless. And I don't know if I want to separate these cruisers with the battleship or not, or have them all together if I were to be so serious. Since their firepower is kind of warranted, and I like this spoiler kind of serving as a little bit of a bait. But nonetheless, I like the combo of demonic sight and armor piercing. It just makes it tricky to get the emission dissipator. But when I have to face off against anything that heavily encourages me not to get in close, then, or is very unlikely to benefit from this, like Eldari, then I could swap this out for something else. I'm just wondering how I play this out. Really? I'm just talking too much. Let's just have a good time. And Disruption Bomb, without a doubt, is great for keeping shields down.
Moving to those coordinates. Reporting.
Otherwise, I don't recognize you. I'm almost assuming it's someone I played against because of the portrait, which is probably not likely the case.
Setting course.
But I am using Carnages and not the Slaughters, as opposed to my Wednesday stream, because I like these so much more. Hello there, Al! Well, you got a notification, that's all good, and you're here for the very first match. Although, I'm thinking of doing a bit of a shorter stream, since I am going to be hanging out later for dinner for the Easter holiday. The Easter celebration, as it were. But, getting the stream in is better than getting no stream in, I suppose, even if it is only like an hour and a half's time. So hopefully, you have a good time.
Reporting.
The ideas I already mentioned is I like to experiment with different fleets to kind of get a gauge on how practical they are.
Show us our victims.
Especially with certain nerfs for some of the more popular fleets. Although it's going to be tricky to do for Azuriania, I'm going to be certain.
Show us our victims.
Since that's all cruisers all the time pretty much with the current setup, the current balancing.
Show us our victims.
And I really should try and split up these cruisers a bit more, since I think they are going to ruin their pathing a little bit just because, yeah, doing this 90-degree turn, they're at risk of colliding with each other.
We stand ready.
Which I'm not really fond of too much. I haven't even paid attention to what my opponent's using as far as fleet. I saw maybe 4 icons, which could mean anything. And I'm not even going to grab the objective. It's going to take so long, it doesn't do me any favors, alas, with these frigates. As where the opposite's true with these dang cruisers, which is kind of why I'm contemplating splitting them up. Either with the battleship or in a separate squad, I haven't quite figured out yet. Since they're pretty good at grabbing objectives and At least helping influence my tempo some.
Now,
The enemy
I don't
has
think there's any
seized a
point
strategic
scanning just
area.
yet, though. I'm nowhere near range. Unless I want to use my despoiler to do damage.
You have seized a strategic area.
But I have 2 objectives. It might be good to prioritize, I suppose. Oh,
sighted!
well, torpedoes are a big threat here.
Your orders? As the War Master wills.
Let me try and do damage, and
Break them!
I'm going to assume there's a micro warp jump on that thing, so I don't know if I'm fond of it too much. And actually, I'll launch fighters for these potential torpedoes, and at least protect me from some torpedoes.
To the slaughter! For the ruinous powers!
Are torpedoes going to hit me? I may have rushed that a little bit too much, but
Show us our victims!
I was expecting torpedoes coming out. Come on, despoiler, I need you to work with me here. Do you have armor piercing? No, you do not, so this seals the deal. I get in your face.
Set engines to full ahead.
And ideally board the hell out of these things.
Reporting!
Ideally splitting the critical hits, so. Alright,
The enemy is seizing
rally, that's
strategic
done.
areas. The
I have no
enemy has
torpedoes
seized
for the
a
raw
strategic
burst damage,
area.
but engines are going on you. You are going to suffer a permanent critical hit of some kind. Or,
The enemy has
well, maybe
seized
not a permanent critical hit,
strategic
but a
area.
damn good critical hit.
Feel us, for we strike from the war!
Thankfully, I dodged the ram, that is good.
Retros activated.
I'm not quite getting armor piercing I want, but 2 battleships are suffering horribly here.
Warp strike successful, Master.
And you are in good shape, but I'm going to have to, sadly, split my fire some.
For the War Master!
I almost want to continue boarding this dang ship. I just wish I had... Actually, let me recall my fighters. That might help me some, since I never did recall them, to be fair.
The enemy has seized a strategic area. You have seized a strategic
Alright,
area.
board. We'll kill off the second battle cruiser here.
Dead claws away!
I just don't know if my Death Claws are going to do what's necessary. And sadly,
Reporting!
my one cruiser with the engines is kind of in the way. Ooh,
Reporting!
the entire assault squad just got in there, so this is the best case situation for me. Just gotta be mindful, I am probably gonna get hit by torpedoes. But kill off the flagship, because its micro warp jump should not be available anytime soon.
Moving to those coordinates!
And we'll try and kill off the crew on this one thing. Sadly,
We cannot
I
take
couldn't
much
kill it
more.
fast enough. It managed to get the lightning strike up,
We stand ready.
but it's not dead, so I'm not getting punished just yet.
Engines hot.
I'm doing a bad job paying attention to my frigates, which is kind of failing.
For the ruinous powers.
But this is almost dead. You've got your repairs back up. And so long as you're still alive, I'm not suffering any morale penalties.
Fear us, for we strike from the war.
I just gotta watch out for torpedoes now.
As the War Master wills.
Yeah, I did a bad job with my frigates.
We are unstoppable. Warp strike successful.
And you are pretty much dead. Sadly,
Setting
this is
course.
not looking my favor just yet until I get these carnages to do the damage necessary.
As the War Master wills. Retros activated.
And you are sadly dead. I still got plenty of morale.
Moving to those coordinates.
Now we just gotta prioritize my components.
Show us our victims.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Is it dead?
The enemy has accumulated 25%
I actually took almost no morale
of
damage. I'm
strategic
tempted
points.
not to encouraging speech in all seriousness.
We are unstoppable.
But they're all lances, so long as they don't hit me with torpedoes, I am in good shape. But that's gonna change quickly.
Moving to those coordinates. Your orders. We'll follow your command. For now.
Now let me get in between them, ideally.
Attack successful,
Sadly,
Master.
those were perfect torpedo hits if I just got them slightly faster. Or slightly closer. The torpedoes are what's gonna kill me at this point.
Show us our victims.
The
And
enemy has
boarding.
accumulated 50%
probably not.
strategic
Yeah, losing the
points.
burning the combustion gauge is ultimately what's doing the most damage here.
Powers!
But your engines are gone. We're gonna kill your engines.
War Master!
Let's see.
Retros activated.
Keep the morale going. They're bracing for impact, so I'm in good shape. I just gotta keep hitting them hard.
Setting course.
And you just immediately repaired the engine cricklet, so keep boarding, keep punishing it, and watch for the score.
Your orders. Set engines to full ahead. Reporting.
Finish this off immediately, ideally.
Engines hot.
Ah, dang it, the torpedoes did hit. That's a shame.
Engines hot.
The Kulex's assassin really messed up with the battleship not being able to contribute, but
Stand ready.
I did rally and I couldn't do much more there.
Retros activated. Reporting.
It's still pretty solid.
We are
Just wondering how could have fared better, since the
Reporting.
Retribution, the flagship, was so close to being destroyed too. Just a second Retribution had to block and keep it alive long enough for a second lightning strike. Otherwise, I burnt all my combustion gauge again. So that's a shame.
The ship.
And maybe being in the middle of all their ships to kind of maximize my damage could be helpful too.
Moving to those coordinates.
The enemy has accumulated
Very subtle tweaks and
75%
definitely would have been a
strategic
win.
points.
Just not having a battleship for more disruption bombs. Hell. Do I honestly have a plasma bomb? Probably not, considering the disruption bomb would have been so useful there. Especially with the sheer amount of shields. It was good. Maybe I should have kept distance a little bit more, even though my opponent had no armor-piercing ammo. But a lot of little minor stuff that kind of screwed me over. Not having him, the combustion gauge for engaging his 3 cruisers sucked, especially for the initial torpedoes, since I had the numbers and the weapon advantage. So long as I can deal with those torpedoes. Since my morale was in really good shape otherwise. And then inconvenient timing with the deck being destroyed. Since I used the rally, of course, for... maybe I should not use the rally until actual mutiny. Maybe that was the biggest mistake. Since no other vessels actually had heavy morale damage. That's probably the one big thing I could have changed. Otherwise, let's play with the seeker missiles. See if we can figure them out some more. Otherwise, it's going to be an odd fleet. With that said, since it's not as likely to be as effective due to coming in from an angle as opposed to straight at my opponent. With that said, what do I want? Do I even care about strobe field? It really depends on what I'm up against. Since sure, my explorers will want to run away and they have convenient means to do so. But like, Imperial Navy have no weapons on the prow, so if they're chasing after me, this means nothing. So we'll have to play it by ear and see what faction we're up against. I wonder if we're going to get the same opponent or not. Only one way to find out. Do not disappoint. I want to try to have a stream that involves no crashing. Oh, Corsairs. This may suck really badly for my Seeker missiles, but the very subtle thing that could benefit me with the Explorers is that since they come in at awkward angles, they basically come in waves almost. So even if the Corsair can dodge like 1 or 2 salvos, there's like 3 or 4 more that will be coming in as they're dancing with the first waves. It's just a question of their mobility, since they can keep distance really damn well. And with 2 fighter squadrons, I may not have the means to keep my fighters alive in time for the Seeker missiles to actually connect. And the sad thing of these Explorers especially, they're almost exclusively ion cannons, which is going to be bad for the hollow field. I still get some railguns, but not nearly as many in comparison to the other Explorers. So this will be something I'm eager to see how it plays out. But ramming without doubt, if these heroes can get in point-blank range and ram, that is a must with the 83 armor. Hell, even the explorers, if they could somehow ram, would be great. What am I worried about? I don't even... Okay, I have disruption bomb, so... I think I use that, at least that way my ion cannons can do damage. What else do I want in that regard, though? Actually, strobe field could be useful here if they are macro cannon based, if they're using the star cannons. At least I can boost at them and punish their accuracy heavily. So this is one of the few situations I think it's actually worth it. Seeker missiles are going to be hard to use, though. It goes without saying. And I have so many frigates as well. So it's still a question of how the hell I utilize them to the best advantage. Actually, I kind of want to push over here, actually, so... Well, if 2 of these frigates grab the objective here, at least that way I'm not compromising any of my real fleet, and there's 14 seconds. Let's not get too carried away, as much as I am constantly talking. There we go. Okay, maybe not. My opponent unreadied.
Gravitic drive engaged. Reserve the cover drive.
So you can grab that objective. I don't have a mission dissipator, but strobe field will be great when we get to engage in them.
How may I serve the Tauva?
I'm just gonna have to watch to see what their ships are.
The patient hunter gets
And I
the
do have
prey.
additional speed, while it doesn't mean much for my explorers trying to chase them. The heroes are really damn good. Okay, that's a frigate.
Aircast ready
Oh,
for
I heard a
orders.
boost. And there's the battleship there. For a lot of
How may I
cruisers.
serve the Tauva?
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
The patient
Don't know what to
hunter
expect.
gets
I'm
the
wondering if I
prey.
should have the heroes in front right away. Since I don't think I'm going to get a lot of opportunities to use my seeker missiles.
Core L ready
Not reliably. And of course,
to spread. the
so much for
greater
trying to grab
good.
that, but what is this? It's a light a couple light cruisers, maybe.
How may I serve the Tauva?
Well, so much for that, but at least I can reveal them
The
and
enemy
see what
has
they are
seized a
potentially.
strategic area.
We serve the Corvacha. We serve the Corvatra.
Now,
The patient hunter gets the prey.
I'm just going to at least try and get a little bit of vision, since their shroud can be
The
hindered
enemy
quite a bit.
has seized a strategic area.
Especially since this frigate's not even using, was it? Silent running, which is a big deal.
Drones have
And you, I am wanting to make acquaintance with.
Aircast ready for orders.
Okay.
Drones have identified an enemy target.
Now, I'm going to have vision of that for a good long while. I just gotta make sure
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
it probably has micro warp jump, so let's not get too complacent.
Systems taking heavy damage.
So a lot of Solarises. As much as I love to prioritize the components, we got a Void Stalker to go after.
How may I serve the Tauva? To spread the greater good.
You have seized a strategic area.
And I have fighters on you, so you cannot get away, I'm afraid to say. You need micro warp jump. Oh, I was expecting you to micro warp jump where your Solarises are. That's a bit of a disappointment. Slightly.
The Tauva shall prosper.
I'm doing a bad job with my my ships here, sadly, keeping them alive, since they should have been up here for this kind of situation.
It will be so. Reporting
But Explorer, you grab that. You grab that point.
The Tauva
And
shall
thankfully, it's still marked. Oh, that was amazing. Thank God I got that secondary pulse off. And generator's gone, so this hero is going to be amazing for finishing this off quickly. However, my frigates are dead. That is a big failing there. But this is looking
The
really
enemy has
promising.
accumulated 25%
Seeker missiles are
strategic
potentially
points.
going to die.
Barracuda shoals launched.
Because since these fighters are likely going to get recalled momentarily. But it's looking really promising. I could deal with a handful of Solarises because I am basically equipped with everything but... Yeah, every single one of my ships has freaking fighter bays, for crying out loud.
The Tauva shall prosper.
Can my fighters get close enough? I don't think they're close enough, sadly. Just barely.
The Kovatra.
I'm going to use combustion gauge. Going to refresh the
We
fighters.
serve the Kovatra.
And I have
You
3
will
fighters
seize the
here.
strategic area.
For Anva, it will be so.
How may I serve the Tauva?
So I saw you there. That's one benefit in this regard. And your bombers are doing bomber things.
Core L ready.
And if I can reveal this, this helps a lot.
Launched.
It has to go back to a gas cloud.
Orders, Koro. As the Ethereals wish.
Sadly, I don't have a lot of fighters, but your deck being destroyed helps a lot. I gotta be careful, I am getting spread out, but I do have 3 objectives, so I can afford to be a bit of a bully. Slightly.
Your orders, Koro.
Yes, that paid off beautifully. I don't have fighters to keep vision, but that paid off beautifully. I just wish I had combustion gauge. It was unneeded. The fighters were gonna cover the lower arc here, at least provide a little bit of vision. And of course, the hero did what it needed most, which was give vision otherwise.
Closing on your position.
Now I'd like to go after you,
Ready.
because I have so much health left and you're about to lose this ship.
Against the prey.
Sadly, I'm doing a bad job controlling everything, since these guys are AWOL in the middle of nowhere. But we know we're just dealing with 4 Solarises.
At your orders, Koro.
Well, maybe you'll get number 1 spot another day,
Serve the Tauva.
assuming they're conceding right now.
Kings of Viola.
And if my opponent's using reload, I have not checked too much there.
Be so.
They need a mission dissipator, or silent rhyme basically.
Patient hunter against the prey.
And these fighters aren't going to do a whole lot, but they will provide a little bit of vision.
Engaged.
Actually, let me separate these fleets some.
The Ethereals
I do have frigates for Mark, but again, I have 3 objectives, and
We
I'm going to
serve the
threaten
Kovatra.
to grab these 2 here. At least
As the Ethereals wish.
my hero is perfectly equipped to... Well, never mind, my opponent conceded. My hero would have been perfectly equipped to deal with those Solarises, because of 83 armor on the prow for those star cannons, and I do have 2 fighter squadrons to at least deal with heavy bombers, which would force my opponent to at least launch a couple of fighters, which heavily neuters any bombing runs he could have done. So that was a damn good position for me. Just awkward losing as many frigates as I did, since I really need to figure out how to best utilize them. Since really you only need a single one to serve as scout, but what the hell do we do with the rest of the other 8 frigates, for crying out loud? That I haven't quite deciphered yet. Otherwise, if there's any recommendations what fleets you want to see, let me know. Since I'm just jumping around and having a bit of fun here. I am not touching Adriani, since I believe that is going to be my focus for next week, or tomorrow rather. So I'm going to save that for the YouTube videos themselves. I am tempted to play some more orcs. I like my sneaky gets. I like to learn more about if there's any real potential to a heavy torpedo build, but mega cannons are the go-to, it goes without saying. I wonder how ridiculously overpowered the commandos might be when the tracked cannon shot bug, or the cannon bug that reveals my cloaked ships gets fixed. I wonder if they might be too powerful, since the tracked cannon itself is already ridiculous as is. Otherwise, don't know what else I want, since my options are limited because of what I just said. Well, let's have some fun. We got our hat, we're good to go. The hat makes the player. Or at least makes the fleet. No, it wasn't increased there. The battleships still go, what is it, 160? The Scourge is 180, which is the unique ship of the entire roster of ships we have, in all honesty. Since the mindset before Scourge was it 120 for things like the Emperor and the Death Deal, what is it, the Dead Knot for the Orcs, 160 for pretty much everything of normal speed, 200 for anything faster than that. So 180 is unique exclusively to Scourge. Unless it's a bug thing, that's a possibility. But since speed is readily tracked constantly on your stat screen, you can easily confirm that. I don't know where they get that idea. Unless like a frigate or some very specific ship got a buff. Due to the, was it hotfix or the patch that corrected, or at least made it a little more convenient to use your fighters. I will double check to confirm though for a stream, but I'm pretty certain it was not changed. And we're facing off against Chaos, which could mean anything. Lances, my rocks are amazing against, so long as I make sure they're the ones getting shot at. Against macro cannons, I have 83 prow, and they kind of want to get close to me to do the damage necessary. The one thing that I'll have to remember, and I have to seriously consider if I want to throw in some onslaughts for my main fleet, since they do complement at least the main fleet itself quite well. However, I'm not going to be using them at max range until I'm revealed though. It's a big thing. But these savages are great at sitting on a point and just scaring off anything that dares be foolish enough to try and grab it that is not a cruiser, or at least a light cruiser knows where the player knows how to control to at least ram my 50 armor side. That is what they serve mostly. But they capture incredibly slow with that said. But at least they allow me to ignore these objectives somewhat, so I can get to maybe a better position. It's been so long since I used this fleet, I almost forget how I want to do this. Without a doubt, if I can avoid scans, that's perfect, since there's likely going to be 2 or 3 of them. I want to be out in the middle of nowhere, in all seriousness, to help reduce that likeliness, since my opponent's likely going to scan as soon as I get close to that middle objective. And the rocks are supposed to do just that. Actually, I may just use them as the bait. You grab this point, I'll keep these savages close at heart, I suppose, for scanner pulses. I don't know what I'm really saying. I just burn a lot of time. It's a constant trend, isn't it?
Orcs is best. You want us over there?
Otherwise, 5 ships.
Yeah?
So this could very easily... Oh no, you're the wrong ships I want. This could very easily be Grand Cruisers. This, from what I noticed before, a bunch of slaughters and a single Grand Cruiser during my time of Space Marines is easily 6 ships. Maybe even a battleship if we're seeing this lone one here. But at the very least, these rocks can serve as maybe sinking my main fleets over there, at least a good portion of them.
The fight is over here.
I'll see about grabbing this one point with this one frigate, actually. Since hopefully I shouldn't need that many savages, right?
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
And I did not pay attention to the capture progress, but it's safe to say those are cruisers and anything bigger than that. So it was going to capture immediately quick anyway.
You have seized a strategic area.
You are going to take the shots, which should be really
Orcs
good.
is best.
Hopefully you do not get a lot of fire results, but
What you want?
if they're macro cannons, you're equipped for that. If they're lances, you are equipped for that too. These things, I love these rocks. It's just a question if I'm using them to the best of their potential. Since after all, I should only need one single rock for crying out loud for what I have in mind here. So I maybe could cut one of them back for more cruisers of some kind. This one Savage is doing what it needs to do.
Wings ready.
And these 3 are, well, they're going to grab this pretty soon. And nothing of note. But we do have a frigate over there, so is it a frigate? Yeah, it's a frigate, so my Savage probably should get there really quickly. it might give away the rest of my fleet, so I gotta wait until actually the rocks engage. Because I don't need to deny him from yeah, I just need to get there by time before it actually captures, and I got plenty of time for that.
Yeah. Faster, you grots.
And we'll see if actually my opponent decides to board these rocks. Yeah, okay, all lances looks like grand cruisers at that. And thankfully my cruisers were not revealed.
Seized a strategic area.
Best case situation, sadly there's only 2 boarding, but it's enough to actually kill off at least the first stage.
Enemy ship sighted. What you want?
And you are holding fire. Ooh, my opponent's actually splitting up, which is convenient, but I need to be able to punish that.
Orcs is best.
And actually,
You have seized
I
a
want these to...
strategic area.
let's see, were my frigates revealed? No, they were not. I gotta get ready to go quickly, because these actually have torpedoes, so I gotta babysit them really well.
Here we go.
Okay, we're going after this. Time for the kill move.
Enemy ship sighted. Dagger.
Fire everything. Sadly, I wish I had prioritized the engines. That was a big mistake there.
Here we go.
But can I ram it for good measure?
Boss, we smashed up on the enemy ship.
Savages, what are you doing?
It's ready.
You're doing damage, which is not terrible just yet. Yes, now we get the engine critical hit.
Yeah.
You are trapped. Sadly, plasma bomb's not helpful there.
Boss, we smashed up on the enemy ship.
Finish it off.
Us over there. You got it.
They're doing good damage there. This Grand Cruiser's gone in a moment, but
The boss of me.
I gotta be ready to turn around soon. Actually, rally. Since sadly this thing is... yeah, the crew's almost gone, but the rock did its thing.
You have seized a strategic area.
Hit a rat barn. You got it, boss.
Now I gotta prioritize engines. That's the failing that I'm doing right now. Engines need to die. It's gonna be tricky to do, but they need to die.
The fight is over here.
You have seized a strategic area.
These savages are wrecking this poor little Hades. It's, again, like I said, they're so easy to deal with if my opponent actually puts effort into controlling it, but still, you can see their value. Whereas the onslaughts, they still are better damage for the over time.
You have
Shields are still up, but thankfully, I got guns on the broadside too. Just gotta watch for engine's about to critically hit too.
Enemy ship sighted.
Kill the flagship. Sadly, I don't think it's gonna get hit by a plasma bomb. Ooh, my rocks are still in.
Over here.
With that said, where's my other rock? Being lazy, a slacker.
Boss, we smashed up on the enemy ship.
Flagship's gone.
What do you want?
I did not pay attention to you, but you actually dodged the torpedoes conveniently enough.
Ballast flight lost.
Now, ram this, board it, and actually, you do have torpedoes even though they're really bad for this circumstance.
Both paid.
And this one savage immediately secures this point. I love these things.
Load that junk. Here we go.
Now, I did not prioritize engines again, stupid me. A big failing because I rely heavily on those prioritizations to at least increase the likeliness of the critical hits.
The fight is over here.
And no point plasma bomb just yet.
Faster, you grunts.
And I do have guns that at least can still keep shooting.
That's not supposed to burn. Fix
And I
it.
just repaired, so I'm not going to have my rally for this thing, even though it has no crew anyway.
The fight is over
Yes,
here.
engine critical hits, perfect. Finally got it with the guns themselves. Not even the mega cannons did that for me.
Here we go.
Oh my god.
What you want?
Was it 70 points
The
of
enemy has
savages just took out
accumulated
maybe, was
25%
it?
of strategic
This is a battle
points.
cruiser, so what, 170 points worth of ship?
One of our ships, boss.
absolutely priceless.
You have accumulated 50%.
And I do need to deal with though in a moment. Especially with my engines now gone.
Enemy ship sighted!
But it's only one ship left to deal with, so I think we're good. Actually, I know you want to see ramming, so let's do this, even though it's a terrible idea since I'm about to turn around. It's great at messing up his torpedo run.
You got it.
I'm pretty certain that was about to turn around to shoot torpedoes at me for crying out loud. So that actually did pay off in the long term.
You have accumulated 75%.
But I have no more
of
stasis
strategic
bombs.
points.
Your engines are prioritized. 20 seconds till you can get repaired.
Move that junk!
I'm hoping I'm too close.
Full speed!
You hit me, but I don't think it matters.
Get to work, you
I don't think it
lazy
matters. I just wish your engines were down again.
All's his best.
Finish them off.
We came.
Although you can't finish them off because you have no mega guns. And these boarding parties with the fighter bays are working incredibly well too. It does require the engines to go down for them to reliably hit. Oh my god, I take that back.
We came, we saw, we wrecked it.
These things are actually faster than the Grand Cruisers, as silly as it sounds, even without the engines, so I'm completely wrong on that aspect.
You want us over there?
I've been misjudging these poor things.
Red boys, get to work, you lazy.
Otherwise,
kids.
let's finish this off. Sadly, this thing's a wreck. It has nothing left to its name. And that is game. That felt pretty flawless. Even the frigates got lots of kills in there. But again, those savages can be really easy to deal with just because of the 50 armor. You just need to actually individually control those ships for it to really matter though. But that was damn good. I'm happy with that result. And I'm curious, how many points is the Hades there? 200 points. 3 savages took out a Hades. And who knows what damage it did to the frigate and the Grand Cruiser one was over there too. Easily the MVP. Now with that said, how many points are the savages? Only 28 points, so yeah, like just 80 points almost. Basically took out 200 points with almost no effort at all, which may be a lot of the criticism of orcs. Well, really a lot of these fleets, since a lot of people like going with heavy battleships or just the most simplistic thing, which is fine, which is dandy, but I would get terribly bored if I did that all the time. Hell, even orcs I can get bored of really quickly, since you don't get that finesse being able to control your ships very well due to lack of high energy turn. Never mind a lack of micro warp jump. But what was that about Necrons being faster? I'm pretty certain it's not true. We'll just double check and confirm. Yeah, 160 on the Tomb ship, 180 for Scourge, as I talked about, 200, 240. I'm pretty certain it's always been 240. I just never thought about it, to be fair. Huh. They're the same speed as the light cruisers, so maybe the cruisers got enhanced? I honestly can't remember since I almost never use these damn things. Although there could be an argument for the Harrower since they are exclusively a macro cannon type of fleet. They're only broadside base, which can make them really tricky to utilize, especially if your opponent's avoiding you or keeping distance. Never mind the 9,000 unit range. And the Harvester here is all broadside base, aside for the Lances or the Gauss Particle Whip. So maybe that was changed. Again, I have absolutely no idea, due to the fact I never used them. I'm an idiot. I saw to unmute the mic, I apologize. I don't know how long that's been going on there, I saw to unmute it. Maybe I muted it back up when, oh, I know, it's because I unmute the music. That explains it. I apologize there. Since I had to mute the mic briefly, and of course that turned off the music when I was in-game at an inconvenient time. So you heard nothing of my monologue there, but we'll do Lance Fleet, since someone was asking about it on Wednesday, and you want to see Mechanicus. I may just cut that out for a YouTube video, depending on how bad it is. Since, really, that was a one-side fight anyway with the Adriani, and it's not even a torpedo-based build, which is kind of the more popular type of fleet. And I don't even need armor-piercing ammo, it goes without saying. Anything else I want, I suppose? Only thing I mentioned that I can't remember was muted or not was having the RM pattern weaponry for maybe a Gothic as the flagship, so that way I can use it to start doing some long-range damage. But since I have no actual macro weaponry, I'm even more limited in my options. Let's give it a try. I don't feel good about a Lance fleet just because of the limited range the Gothics have, as opposed to the Tyrants. Never mind the fact I'm not utilizing the exceptional accuracy that Mechanicus have now. But it's pretty good. It should be decent. The big problem will be the fact that when they do get in the Lance range, they are within range of hitting me with all their weapons. Whereas if I can get the 18,000 to 22,500 range, at least that way I can start chipping them down with no risk of taking hits. Now, do we have an opponent or not? Do we have an opponent or not? Since it's counting down, 14 seconds. 10, 9. Oh, it's freezing. Oh, I don't even know who my opponent is. Oh my god. Am I staring into the Matrix right now? Sure, it's nothing but a blank screen, but I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm even more terrified. We won immediately on Mechanicus. So, first match with the Lance Heavy Fleet, and we immediately win. You know what I'm getting from this? The Lance Fleet is overpowered. We should play it more. What the hell is this, though? I'm scared. I'm really scared there, but that does not count, simply put. But maybe it's a good winning record so far for the fleet. 100% win rate with no effort involved. Kind of like with the Orc fleet almost. Almost. What is I don't know what you're saying there, ominous? Did I say something that made no sense? That's a very likely situation. Because I honestly don't know. Huh, maybe servers actually crashed outright. Since we've been doing exceptionally well in the queue so far. So something may have just messed up there briefly. But let's get the Mechanicus. At least attempt to get the Mechanicus in. I was just a little bit worried maybe something broke. Something may have very well broke. Nope, never mind. We are golden. I'll have time for maybe 2-3 more matches, depending on how long they go. And then we'll see what happens. Ooh, Protector Fleet. This is going to suck a little bit. Due to the Seeker missiles, how am I going to be able to handle with the Seeker missiles? Since my Arc Mechanicus is a big liability to gain hit. Unless I exclusively let the Prow Armor do the damage. Since the truth is, I should not expect my Nova cannons to actually hit them. And they're a fleet that doesn't actually want to get closer to me, so Eye of the Omnisign is not very helpful either. And I'm all lances, so getting in close doesn't help me in any matter at all. So this is a bit of an awkward match. And I have no torpedoes even to kind of scare off the fighters, so I can focus down on the Seeker missiles as well. So what do I need to do? Make damn good use of these gas clouds. Yeah, this is not going to be a good match for me, I think. It feels like it anyway. And you have lances, I want to keep you here in the group. Frigates aren't going to cap too much, but how to best do this? My point defense is my biggest strength there, but there's going to be such an endless supply of fighters that I don't think I can easily separate. Actually, this is not true. This is potentially not true. This is going to be tricky to do, though. Okay. I feel a little bit better about my odds now. It's just a question of execution.
Rouse the engines.
Again, we have no idea if we're dealing with crew war spears as well, which is a possibility. It could be two custodians and a protector, maybe.
Receiving your order.
But I'm open-minded
Routines active.
to a lot of seeker missiles, since something, for all we know, could be behind here. But I don't see any. I didn't see any visual icon that appeared when I looked there. So we know what the flagship is. Oh, I saw fighters. Alright. Double custodian.
Calculating vectors.
You have seized
The sucky thing about this is that they always are facing their prow towards me, which will mitigate a lot of my lance damage. Never mind my limited range. But the custodians are a prime target for shooting the Novacans at.
Transition
I'm
begun.
wondering if I want to switch to brace for impact with that said or not. But I am keeping an eye out
State your order.
for, well, when the Seeker missiles come out, since there's still
Hostile signature detected.
21 Seeker missiles to worry about and 6 frigates too.
Machine spirit appeased.
And the plan is separate the Seeker missiles with the fighters using a stasis bomb.
We are ready to serve.
That's the idea. I just wish this light cruiser was faster. I'm going to rely on it a lot. And I wish I had a mission dissipator to help alleviate that too.
With matchless efficiency.
Watching for the Seeker missiles. Oh, it's about to...
Engaging drive.
Okay, it's about to reveal my frigates.
State your order. Engage engine red lines. To serve the Omnisire.
Now, can this do what is necessary?
The spirits
This is best case scenario because of how spread out the Seeker missiles are from the fighters. Can I shoot enough of them down? Because now, everything else is joined. This may have backfired a tiny bit. And those stasis bombs should have been sooner.
The spirits obey.
Yeah, I should have dodged those. Those are easy enough to dodge. In fact, I could have shot them all down too, so that was I messed that up.
Engage chrysalis protocols.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Yeah, you're probably just going to boost forward.
Odds of survival falling.
And I think...
Machine spirit appeased. Escort lost.
Oh, I hate the filter button tab.
State your order.
That's 2 Seeker missile salvos spent, although we're dealing with battleships that have 4 charges.
Reroute power to retro propulsion. Rouse the engines.
Nope. Wild Seeker missile fire.
Propulsion. Transition
And
begun.
let's see. Actually, let me get this thing alive. I may be marked,
Engaging
so
drive.
let's get everything in here. I'm not really doing a good job firing.
Receiving your order.
Seeker missiles about to... Stasis bomb's about to come up, but this is already too late, I think. No, actually, fighters are a little bit off whack too.
The Omnisire.
Yeah, I need to fire Seeker missiles, or Novacans. I'm doing a bad job. I'm just focusing more on how to deal with the Seeker missiles than anything else.
Optimal course set. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
So this custodian is all sorts of screwed. I just gotta get rid of his shields now.
Calculating vectors.
Oh, I'm getting pushed into that, so that's gonna suck.
Thruster routines active.
But the flagship... No, that wasn't the flagship, alas.
Engine red lines.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
But it's about to die. That's one
You have
ship down.
accumulated 25% of strategic
It did give one final secret missile salvo off,
Skitari assault successful.
but there's no
The
fighter
enemy
support it.
has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Receiving your order.
I need to kill this thing. I'm gonna have Nova cannons in about 20 seconds, and it's being bored heavily.
We are ready to serve. Legio Cybernetica have boarded the enemy.
It's gonna take a while for my boring to actually get a critical hit of some kind, but
Starhawks engaging.
give me my Nova cannons. I'm waiting for them vehemently.
Reroute power to retro propulsion. Receiving your order.
Arc Mechanicus is still in good shape. Yeah, I gotta boost out.
Legio Cybernetica have boarded the enemy.
I thought that one was stopped firing a shot, or already did shot, so. But you're about to break.
State your order.
Surprisingly, we're gonna win this match, despite my mess up with the control. Yeah, that is the big liability of Tau. If you can exploit it, is the friendly fire with the secret missiles.
Hostile signature.
They are technically incredibly bad at point-blank range for that reason,
Calculating vectors.
but hopefully I demonstrate the idea there
We
to
are
some
ready
extent.
to serve.
It just wasn't the best example, or best display.
Obey. Machine spirit appeased.
And you do not have rally, sadly, so can't do anything about you, but this is over.
Vectored thrust.
I just gotta grab objectives now.
Machine spirit appeased.
You have accumulated 50% of
Secret
strategic
missiles
points.
can be dealt with, although that was the best case situation where my opponent did not wait, or did not have the patience to wait for the fighters to be right with the missiles.
Thruster routines active.
But
Receiving your order.
with almost the entire fleet gone, I just need to grab everything now.
We are ready to serve.
The enemy has accumulated 50%
Nope,
of
morale's in
strategic
all sorts of
points.
mess now,
Archmagos vessel at
but we did
null
alleviate that a
function.
lot. And they're only
To
wardens.
serve the Omnisire. Odds of survival.
God damn it, the
falling.
fire assault just caused me that mutiny there, that sucks.
Optimal course set.
But I can grab all the objectives easily. It's gonna be a pain in the ass hunting down these cursed frigates
State your
though.
order.
But the most terrifying type of Tau fleet is this, was it 6 Protector fleet? Since they have a lot of railguns to complement
We are ready
the
to serve.
36 secret missiles you can fire at your opponent. And
State your order.
that was not the best display of the secret missiles just because of how easily I could
Receiving
isolate
your
them.
order.
And I did do some bad control too. I could have easily dodged that first salvo, which conveniently was getting shot at by all my point defense.
Machine spirit appeased.
It was a bit of a blessing in disguise because my fighters from the Defiance actually scared off, or at least distracted all the
To
fighters,
serve the Omnisire.
where I want to use those fighters to shoot down said secret missiles. So it played out in the best there some.
Spirits obey.
That one Gothic took like 3 torpedo
State your
salvos.
order.
You have seized a
Yeah,
strategic
you're revealing me. That
area.
doesn't mean much just yet.
With matchless
Because now,
efficiency.
I'm going to hunt you down, maybe board you, for very little damage, mind you.
Engaging drive.
But let's see if we can bomb you at the same time.
Starhawks engaging.
Because you're not going to do
Optimal
crap,
course set.
I'm afraid to say. The bombers are kind of useless though.
The spirits obey.
Damn it, that was a pretty abysmal too.
Rouse the engines.
I don't even need to grab that, my cruisers can grab the objectives so
Machine
much more
spirit
faster.
appeased.
I just gotta stop fooling around.
With matchless efficiency.
After all, what? Half the capture speed time versus
Receiving
like
your
2 times
order.
my capture speed, and they have diminishing returns for each ship.
We are ready to serve.
So my opponent's playing this a losing battle,
Engaging drive.
and with no boarding potential, you can't kill off the crew here.
We are ready to serve.
I don't even think it's possible, even with lucky critical hits.
Calculating vectors.
No, and all my bombers got killed, even though I recalled them. That stinks.
Hostile signature detected. Focusing war site. To serve the Omnisire.
I'm still gonna have 3 objectives. I'm gonna immediately boost into that middle one there pretty soon.
Rouse the engines.
Yeah, I got plenty of time. Although you're not fooling me for a moment. I know this wreckage of a custodian is concealing a warden.
Seized a strategic
I
area.
will not be fooled by the shenaniganry.
We are ready to serve.
You have seized a strategic area.
Engage engine red lines.
Now let's grab everything else.
Rouse the engines.
I'm coming for you, buddy.
Receiving your order.
I may not have Nova cannon shots that are never gonna hit frigates, but I have cannons nonetheless.
Optimal course set.
And I'm gonna terrify you with said cannons.
State your order.
I gotta stop burning off all my combustion gauge, but at this point, it's not a big deal.
Machine spirit appeased. With matchless efficiency. Machine spirit appeased.
Now I just ruined the entire YouTube video for everyone looking at this ball. I apologize.
Reroute power to retro propulsion.
But good luck
You
killing
have
this cruiser.
seized a strategic area.
I applaud you for your efforts, but
You
for
have
now,
accumulated
I'm bored in this one
75%
thing.
of strategic points.
ram the R1 actually. Thank you
The
kindly for your
spirits
tribute.
obey.
The Emperor smiles upon you, Xenos. And that's a wrap. I like the idea behind it. It's just a matter of execution, which I did very poorly, dealing with the seeker missiles. So I still need to work on it. It's still a terrifying fleet potentially, because even though the Custodian has no high energy turn, it still has the speed to easily get out of those Nova cans if my opponent pays attention. So I realistically should not expect them to hit very often, not without some kind of eye of the Omnisign or another ability to keep them in place. But it's a win. Hopefully that was satisfying to the one person who wants to see lances. And I have one match left there. I'm going to do one more match before I call the stream. So what I'm going to do is play around with more torpedoes. I like to experiment with the idea of utilizing them some. See if there's any real promise. Maybe not so much for the boarding, but more for the damage potential. Especially with shocking saps. Gotta be very careful of my poor morale situation though. Actually, I like you more. You look like a good orc commando. Even though technically I'm not commandos. These are Death Skulls, not the Blood Axes. Now, what do we have for an opponent? Can we end off this final match with a good one? Well, it is the merchant fleet. So am I expecting a lot? Am I expecting a lot of heroes? It can be annoying, especially since I have no fighters to kind of effectively deal with the seeker missiles. I do have rocks though, and in theory they should be immune to critical hits if I can make them take the hits. It's just a question, can I make the rocks at least draw out 2 full salvos? At least prime me for a good follow-up? At least for the actual engagement itself is what I'm wondering. Since I only need like a single frigate to kind of spot for me. And these guys are just going to go straight at my opponent. Which probably are just going to go straight through here. And actually, I kind of want the flagship in back since the morale damage is going to be significantly noted. I just have to remember to stagger fire the lances. That's going to be a key trick here. Actually, let me group these properly. So you're group 2. There, problem solved. Okay, that's not true, because now I got rid of the group for this. Yeah, 6 heroes. That's what it looks like.
Orcs, orcs, orcs.
So my rock has a very important role here. It's just a question of, can I do it the best?
Blaze ready.
Since I do have stasis bomb, I just don't have really the point defense to effectively deal with them.
You got it.
Yep,
Yeah.
this is going to be the hard matchup. This is what I was kind of expecting with the last match.
Orcs.
And now I'm using a faction that aren't really the best equipped due to the lack of point defense.
Move that junk.
But that's what I'm going to use this rock for.
What you want?
And if possible, I want to know where the flagship is to cause some serious morale issues for him.
Blaze ready.
The enemy has seized
I don't have a way to know
strategic
that just
area.
yet. Oh, and I should brace for impact too.
You want us over
That way I
there?
can have lock-on available when necessary.
Yeah. Orcs, orcs, orcs. You got it.
I kind of want you all together
Yeah.
for the obvious reasons. I'm going to lose a lot of point defense here, but secret missiles are going to likely be coming pretty soon.
The fight is over here.
I just need to know what the secret missiles are going after.
Orcs is best.
You have seized a strategic area.
And I can screw up their fighters quite well here.
Faster, you grunts.
Not amazingly well, but quite well.
You have seized a strategic area. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
I'm still waiting for secret missiles, although I am messing up my control now. I'm watching for secret missiles, though.
What you want? Orcs is best.
I am firing random torpedoes, but
You got it, boss.
I got 6 charges for crying out loud. I can afford it.
You got it. Yeah.
I think I timed that poorly.
Here we go. What you want? You want us over there?
I don't know if this is going to work as well as I
Orcs is
like,
best.
since I still have to deal with fighters after all. Oh, and that explains why I'm having problems.
You got it. Hit a rat button.
Where's the flagship? Okay.
Blaze ready. Dagger, dagger, dagger. Faster, you grunts. Dagger, dagger, dagger. Locked on, boss.
Okay, I did a bad job trying to spread them out, but my opponent's running scared now.
Here we go. You got it.
Can I punish them? It's a big question.
Orcs is best. Move that junk.
I don't care about your damn shields, but this rock's not long for this world just yet.
Over here. Yeah.
I'm doing a bad job staggering, I think. I need 2 seconds. Since I think I'm staggering at 1 second as opposed to 2.
Orcs, orcs, orcs.
I don't think everything's boosting, so this could backfire. Yeah, the frigate's
Enemy ship sighted.
the frigate's boosting. And I could have stasis bombed. This might be it for my dang ship here.
You got it.
For my flagship, rather.
Yeah. What you want?
And that was badly timed stasis bomb, alas.
Let's get shot up.
But so far as what?
You want us over
2
there?
salvos? Or actually all 3 salvos, isn't it? I think? I could be wrong.
Move that junk. Enemy ship sighted. Teleport strike work, boss.
Now keep this thing alive, most important. I should not have used my boosters like I did, but... let's see, I have rally. I don't have a Wog Song, but I have a rally.
Ready. Here we go.
Kill the flagship. And your engines, well yeah, your engines got repaired immediately. Kill this thing now. That means no more Stasis Bomb, and I don't care about your shields, but this thing is sadly dead.
What you want? Boss Windows the flagship. You got it.
Can we start breaking these ships now? Probably not. It's probably too little too late. Especially since I let the flagship die so easily. With no real effort. And I boost again into a Stasis Bomb, silly me.
Boss, we gotta go. Enemy ship sighted.
Yep, I got heavy guns, I got torpedoes, I should be using said torpedoes. And now I know for a fact that's all the fighters, I just gotta actually kill them now. And start boring. Can we at least make it close? Due to my lack of control that I've been doing.
You have accumulated 25% to strategic.
Nah, not really. Deck's being destroyed too, alas. So it's too little too late at this point.
You have seized
But
a strategic
let's get some boring torpedoes in. Maybe not so much ramming, but let's get some boring torpedoes in.
Wings ready. You ain't a boss of me.
The Stasis Bomb was supposed to help me deal with that. I just did a bad job executing it. And now we're just losing due to morale. Just on morale front alone, because I actually do have the health really well. Needs a little bit of refinement and actually know what the hell I'm doing. And hell, these savages could have been useful too if I brought them forward.
Yeah. You want us over there?
But yeah, I have the actual health to finish these things off incredibly well, especially with the torpedoes. And then I can easily just board this some more with some lightning strikes. That was a pitiful display. After all, what I should have seriously been doing is just have my front cruisers actually tank at least some of the seeker missiles, kind of like what the Rock was doing. At least that way the damage gets spread out, and ideally, the flagship does not get destroyed because that tracked cannon is so damn important. Never mind the morale issues that I've been getting. And I just didn't do that one little thing. We did outlast the seeker missiles though, so that's always a plus, and we got in close. And with the chaining saps, I can almost guarantee get within melee range of whatever I want, so long as I chain the saps properly. So ultimately, I don't know how it looked on your end, but I still feel embarrassed. It's still a question of sneaky lose is worth getting, because Wog Song, if I time that properly, is so much more valuable for preventing the morale damage, especially of the flagship. But anyways, I think that's it of the video so far. I loved the potential of how the Commandos did against poor Chaos and the Grand Cruisers. That was a fun little stomp, wasn't it? So I thank you for this arguably shorter stream than usual, but worst case, we can always get some more streams in on Sundays or Saturdays. That's what the dream is, regardless of how long they are.